Let's party, fellas. Welcome
What's
welcome to Gary
fellas?
Wings Stole My Lawn Furniture Show, Tuesday, April 22nd. After a Caps overtime win last night, fellas, let's start off on a high note. Let's start with that.
Hell yeah.
How you guys doing? Actually, how was your weekend? How was your Easter?
Oh,
How's
yeah.
everything going?
Let's do Easter first to get that out of the way. What'd you guys do?
I work. Unfortunately, I had the displeasure of working on Easter, which is not a very busy day for bars in general. But it wasn't too bad. I worked, I think, like noon to 6 or 7, and then we closed up early, and I was able to come home and just chill.
Okay.
Didn't do any wasn't able to do any family stuff as a result, though. What about you guys?
Tuesday. Saturday was our big Easter day, just because Caitlin was working on actual Easter on Sunday. So we went and met the Easter Bunny. It rained that day, so we didn't really get to do an Easter egg hunt like we usually do on that day. And we got to see some real hoppies. My son calls rabbits or bunnies hoppies. So we got to go meet some real ones, which he's always a huge fan of.
Did he freak out?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
He was in heaven. We've met them before. And then Sunday we did just an Easter egg hunt that evening and Easter dinner and stuff like that at my in-laws house. So he did actually get to do a Easter egg hunt, so that was good. But
yeah, it's does your development, because I mean you live in that development that's got that nice little like park area where did they do an Easter egg hunt like there? That'd be my assumption, but
yeah, they do one there. We usually go to the one over in Zionsville, which is the town next to us. And they have like this huge park there that the Lions Club runs, and they do a big Easter egg hunt for everybody, and you get to meet the Easter Bunny and stuff like that. But they canceled the actual hunt and moved everything else inside. So just because it was raining and stuff here all day on Saturday. So
Thanks. Saturday was beautiful, sunny and 75 in Ocean City, and then Sunday was a little dreary.
It was nice here on Sunday. We had the opposite.
Of course.
I just did family stuff at my parents' house. So
oh yeah,
that's fun. Took Sarge with us. Sarge wasn't going to be able to be with his family, so I drove him up there to my parents' house in Perryville, Maryland.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
What's like your go-to Easter dish? Now, like I know ham is customary, but what's your favorite one? Like your favorite dish?
I think our mom would just make like ham and scalloped potatoes and that was kind of deviled eggs. Deviled eggs were like an hors d'oeuvre that day.
I made my first deviled egg. I had to call my mom to ask her what her recipe is and everything like that. So we made deviled eggs for Easter dinner.
It's a pain in the ass, isn't it?
I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Well, I guess it depends on how large the quantity, like how many you're making.
Yeah, I mean, we only made like 2 dozen, maybe, if that.
Okay.
Deviled eggs are by far my least favorite food.
Really?
Not even remotely close to anything.
I love deviled eggs. I could pop those all day.
I could eat. I've eaten 20 of them in one Super Bowl party before.
And honestly, I guess it depends on how they're prepared. If you put relish in them, I'm not a big relish guy. I don't like pickles.
Who puts relish in them? Ew.
Well, some people do, and some people make them all like fancy different ways and stuff like that. Our mom, they try to get all fancy with them, which I respect, but I just want plain. I just like plain.
I mean, if you throw a little bacon or a little crab in there or a little jalapeno in there, I'm not going to complain about that stuff.
Like Old Bay on top of them, season them up. Yeah,
I could do that.
I remember when we did the first Brodeo, we went to Dinosaur Barbecue down in Harbor East. It was a good group of us. And Delaware Dave brought one of his kids.
Yeah.
And I remember saying how much I despised deviled eggs. And so, of course, what does Del do? He orders 2 dozen. Like, that makes total fucking sense. And the reason I hate deviled eggs, this sounds so stupid, but it's the smell. It's the smell of them when they're being prepared.
Yeah.
And it always reminded me, my mother, when I was a young kid, used to always get a perm. and that nauseating smell when she would come home from the hairdresser. Eggs reminded me of that, and that's why I hate them.
Perms smell like deviled eggs.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
I had no idea.
And PC's,
such a bizarre comparison.
It really is, but that's really what it reminds me of. I swear, it's like
out of right field, right there.
Out of right field. And everyone always has fun with me with deviled eggs. Like PC's parents for Christmas one year got me deviled egg trays from like a J.C. Penney that was going out of business, and they were like made of crystal. They're like really nice. I gave it to my mom.
Funny enough, yeah, I never thought I would need a deviled egg tray, but we needed one yesterday. So,
yeah. Where do you put them if there's no tray? You just let them roll around semicircle wise on a plate.
Like I said, first time I've ever made them. So.
Like Weeble Wobbles.
Didn't know we even had it. I didn't even know we had a deviled egg tray until yesterday, but apparently we do.
I think my mom makes this like Southwestern casserole dish. I don't even know exactly what all is in it, but it's just delicious and cheesy and just makes me feel warm inside, warm and fuzzy.
That's like your Easter thing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. We do the typical stuff like ham and deviled eggs and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and green beans and stuff. But she makes this one casserole. It's kind of different. I don't know the ingredients, but it's really, really tasty.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, we've discoursed enough about deviled eggs. I think let's get back to the topics at hand, which was the Caps. Ovi getting his first playoff overtime goal last night, which is a crazy stat. I can't believe that. I guess that it was like a big thing among the hockey community. I didn't really know, but yeah, they were going crazy on ESPN when he scored last night. I was going crazy when he scored in the first period because I was like, this guy is just like this is going to happen all playoffs too. This is unbelievable. And then when we blew the lead, I was starting to get a little worried.
Yeah,
I was kind of flipping back and forth between that and the Clippers Nuggets game, which I know you guys aren't big NBA fans, but that game was fucking amazing last night. But yeah, what did you guys see out of the Caps, specifically Ovechkin and basically all the history that he's been able to create at the end of this season?
I won't lie to you. I didn't get a chance to watch the game, so I'm gonna lean on you guys here.
Honestly, they looked really good in the first period. We straight up outplayed them for most of that. Well, I shouldn't say most of that game. For a lot of that game. And especially in that first period, but then we kind of fell off and let them get back into the game, and then it's pretty awesome to see. I didn't love going into overtime there. I was getting a little nervous, but I actually didn't even get to see Ovi's overtime goal because right there at that intermission before overtime started, I fell asleep. So I saw the replay.
It wasn't over in his office like normal. He was out in front of the net and just kind of got a loose puck. It was more of a Sidney Crosby goal, honestly.
It was a garbage.
It wasn't an Ovechkin goal.
Chippy game.
Yeah,
chippy game.
I love that, and it's playoff hockey, man. That's what it's all about. I think that's like the best part of playoff hockey, how chippy it can get, and how like these teams throughout the series can develop hatreds towards each other, and with respect. But yeah, I think that's a really cool part of hockey, and I think you don't see that enough in a lot of other sports.
We just look way bigger than them too, so I think we're just going to have to play that big brother role and kind of rough them up a little bit.
Basham Brothers, baby.
Basham Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Wilson. I mean, Tom Wilson laid a huge hit on somebody. Obi was laying hits left and right. I mean, he straight up threw that fucking, I think it was Kaufman or Caulfield. I forget what his name is. But like just threw him about 8 feet across the ice. It was pretty funny.
To go with the Caps, it doesn't have to do with the game yesterday, but really, really cool scene. I didn't see this. I saw like the on ESPN.com, but kudos to the Pittsburgh Penguins fans for giving a standing ovation for the last game of the season to Ovi. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really
Malkin
cool.
And Sidney Crosby came in the locker room or outside the locker room before the game and gave him that Rolex and took pictures and stuff with him and congratulated him. So that was pretty cool to see.
Brooksy made me think of this when he said he fell asleep. Is there like a big sports moment that you fell asleep for and you can never forgive yourself? Because I have one.
There are a couple, but I'm struggling to think of one right this second. Give me a second here.
Okay, no problem. Mine is very, very easy. I fell asleep in the 2001 World Series when Luis Gonzalez hit that floater over.
That's brutal.
I can never forgive myself. I literally fell asleep and I woke up and I'm like, God damn it! I missed the end of the World Series.
I remember watching that in bed.
Mariano sawed him off, and he just pushed it into center field over the second baseman's head or shortstop's head. I think
They
it was
didn't have the
Alfonso
infield.
Soriano on this.
They didn't have the infield in, man.
That was just a perfect. I mean,
Jeter in the glove at shortstop if they didn't have the infield.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great pitch, a good execution, sawed him off. It was just, I mean, just found the right spot. Just got a little duck fart in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, I can't think of any right now off the top of my head. If one comes to me, I'll mention it throughout the duration of the pod. But yeah, I mean, God, I'm sure there's plenty of people, plenty of stories. I'm sure there's Alabama or Auburn fans that have that fell asleep before that kick six, and like all that.
I remember where I was. I was sitting next to a guy named Robbie, who's a massive. He has Alabama tattooed. He has the A tattooed on both of his calves. That's how much of a fan he is. And I remember contemplating. He was sitting to my right. I remember contemplating, should I take this man's all of his electronic appliances that could be plugged into a tub or and his shoelaces away from him?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure being an Alabama fan that day was not very fun. But
he's had too many. I mean, he's had enough good moments. Okay,
you've had a lot. You've had a lot.
Had a lot of happiness in his life being an Alabama fan.
I know a Bronco fan who fell asleep in that Tim Tebow to Demaryius Thomas overtime game, the first ever overtime game with the new rules against the Steelers.
That was the first play of overtime, wasn't it?
First play of overtime.
This was just a slant. He ousted. Yeah.
R.I.P. Demaryius Thomas, man.
Yeah. R.I.P. DT. God. Georgia Tech, despite running a triple option, really produced some great receivers.
Two great receivers.
And plus Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. I didn't realize he went there.
Yeah, Megatron, DT, and Darren Waller. And I think there's another guy too, but not as big a name, obviously. All right. Congratulations to the Caps for winning game one. We'll see them back here in a couple of nights on Wednesday. Well, tomorrow night on Wednesday, 7:00. Gear up for game two, and hopefully they can go back to Montreal with 2 wins. That would be really nice because splitting at home is not the greatest, but winning that game one is always really important. So good for them. Do we want to do a collective that's a shame for the Orioles game on Sunday, or do we just want to? How do you want to do? What do we want to do here?
It's so obvious that it should be a collective that's a shame.
Yeah, and I see a couple guys in the chat right now talking about the Orioles.
All right, let's just get right into it. What is Jorge Mateo's ERA? Because I believe I saw that guy arguing balls and strikes with the umpire, and then he hit a batter on the Reds, and then the very next pitch gave up a grand slam. I can't imagine his stats are looking very good. I'm pulling them up now. I haven't looked at them yet because I wanted to avoid everything from that game. 45 is his ERA. Yeah,
we've all been there.
7.0 WHIP.
7.0 WHIP.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it any better that my in-laws are. I shouldn't say my in-laws, but my father-in-law and my brother-in-law are both Reds fans, so I got to throw that in my face a little bit at Easter dinner.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you use those sporting events, those holiday sporting events, you used almost like, look, you can not pay attention to your family or talk to your family. You get a little bit of reprieve from doing that because you got the sporting event. I didn't want to watch that game at all. I'd rather talk to every single one of my family members and know what they did the last
I turned it off.
years of their life.
It was a 1-1 game for at least a couple innings. And then, Yeah, all hell broke loose. It got to 8-1 pretty early on in like the third or fourth inning, and I was at work, and I was just not I was just not having it. I was pretty locked into the RBC Heritage Tournament. That Justin Thomas ended up winning in a playoff, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But I was like, all right, it got to 8-1. I put it on one of the side TVs. I was like, I'm not even gonna really watch this, and we kept on looking up intermittently, and I was like, is that Mateo pitching? What is going on? I stopped watching it, so I didn't watch all of the massacre, but I did see there was a couple guys on the Reds that went like 5 for 7 with a home run, couple doubles, kind of thing. Just not really great, and that was. I don't know if that's the last we're going to see of Charlie Morton. I guess it's probably not because we don't really have a lot of options. But I think we're starting to get to the point where Charlie Morton might be just too long in the tooth here. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I want to go back to that crazy stat that Pigtown just put up there. I don't mean to be rude to you there, Dusty. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think that guy play for the Athletics. I think I saw somebody talking about this. This guy. Yeah, he plays for the Athletics. Yeah, he's just a bat to ball guy. He's making contact left and right. Swinging at everything. Yeah, what do you guys think about Charlie Morton? I know, Brooks, you've said you liked the stuff for a couple previous nights, and he was a little unlucky, and I know you had different feelings about this past outing. What do you?
Yeah, I thought this was going to be the outing that he turned it around because I mean, like I said in the last podcast, I see a lot of good stuff from Charlie, or I was seeing a lot of good stuff from Charlie, and it looked like he was right on the cusp of being that Charlie Morton that we expected. But yeah, I mean, this was a huge regression. Just because, I mean, we started the last outing, not this past one, not the bad one, but the one right before that, the first 2 innings, like he was dotting his curveball pretty good. Bite looked like it was coming back a little bit. He was actually finishing them, but then there was a couple that he left just hanging down the middle again. That a wind blown off the wall, and then one that gets out over the right field fence pretty easily because the wind's blowing out that way, and he gives up 4 runs in 4 innings or 5 runs in 4 innings or whatever it is. And it's like, man, you're a couple pitches away from having a quality start here. And it's been that way for a couple of these starts. It's just the command again. Like we kept coming back to it, but then this past outing, he didn't have it from jump. Like he looked like shit from the beginning. So I was a little disappointed in that because I thought this would be the one, like, all right, he's trending. I see it. It's right there. And then we just fucking regressed, man. It was disheartening to see. So yeah, I don't know where you go at this point. There's not a whole lot of teams to trade with right now because they're not going to trade with you at the moment. You can say go get Sandy right now. His value is never going to be lower because he has a 7-something ERA at the moment. But they're not going to trade him. They're going to sit there and wait for him to bring it back down and start pitching well, so his value's through the roof. And I don't blame them. And then who are they going to ask for? Are you going to give up Basayo? I mean, no. I would hope not. So I don't know where you go. I really don't want to see Charlie. Do I think Charlie would figure it out? Yes. It's just we've given him 5 starts to freaking do it, man. And it's got to be. And he said it. Like you hear his interviews and stuff like that. He's disappointed too, and he's like, I'm costing this. Like I'm costing this team a bunch of. Yeah, he did seem. He just seemed disappointed in himself, man. He feels like. Yeah. He feels like he's letting down the team. He is. We all see it. We're all shitting on him, and he knows it too. Mm-hmm. Guys are humans. It's not like he's dumb and is like, yeah, I'm almost there. Just give me 20 more starts. Like, and he said in his press conference, like, give me 20 more starts. I guarantee you, I figured it out. But I understand, like, you cannot do that. I'm screwing this team right now. Is basically what he said. So I feel for the guy. I really do. It's just we can't keep running him out there if he's. I mean, especially after this regression. If this was like a give up 4 runs and he went 7 innings or something like that, I can live with that, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's disappointing. I just don't know how you start him again, but I also don't know how you don't start him again. Do we start giving some other minor league guys some a shot here and just, you know what I mean? Does Keegan get a spot start here coming up? That's kind of what his role was a few years back, and that's what they saw him doing a few years back. Is that going to come to fruition? Brandon Young, I just saw we brought him back and Poteet went to the 7-day DL. That looks like a lot of roster manipulation there. Gibby's going to come back and he's going to be the same. Like, is he going to be a world beater? No. I mean, he pitched great last year. He's going to be hopefully be what we thought Charlie Morton was going to be. So I don't know. And it says a lot when Austin Wins is on the other side saying like, yeah, we knew they were flat. Like they just look flat. And everybody sees it. It's not just the Orioles fans. They look flat.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the pitching right now, but the Orioles hitting does not look any better. So
yeah. I just don't know really what the options are, right? I mean, we have so many guys with injuries. There's just really like, I'm going to be frustrated if Charlie Morton keeps getting starts and keeps getting shelled, but who else is going to pitch? Like, we can't just bring up these kids from double or triple A that aren't ready yet and potentially ruin their futures if they come up and get shelled and then destroy their confidence. You know what I mean? I just don't know what the right answer is here. We're so hamstrung by all these injuries we have in the pitching rotation. I know people are going to point to the offseason and say we should have had more depth coming into the to the season. But I think, honestly, the depth approach is the approach we took. We took the approach to have, not the true number one ace guy, but to have, 6, 7, 8 guys that you could possibly get decent starts out of, quality starts out of relatively consistently. And it just sucks. I mean, Eflin and Grayrod are out. They're not pitching right now. And Eflin was really great to start the season. Grayrod hasn't pitched in, the MLB this season. Sorry, Brooks, what were you about to say?
Well, since you brought it up, good news is Eflin was thrown at 120 feet the other day and said he felt great and said he doesn't think he's probably going to need to make any rehab starts, and he's supposed to start throwing bullpens here this week, I believe.
That's good. That's 60 more feet than he needs to throw from.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just that's good news, especially with like the lat stuff again. Is really frustrating. Going back to G-Rod, like you said, I don't know if we see him this year based on some stuff that I've watched. This is interesting. Can MLB teams grab pitchers from the KBO or the NPB? How's Cole Irvin doing and Mike Bauman?
I would imagine probably yes, but there would almost certainly have to be a buyout of their contract, which I can't imagine is too much money for a guy like Cole Irvin or Mike Bauman. But I would think that, yes, there is a way to do it, but I'm not 100% sure. Pigtown might have more information on that.
I feel like there's like a transfer window or something, almost like in soccer.
Yeah, but there's always going to have to be a buyout of the contract.
Yeah.
And I think there has to do something with like it's either the buyout of the contract or I forget what it is. I'm not real versed in all that in terms of like the overseas leagues and stuff. I don't know how those guys are doing, to be honest with you.
The fact that these are thoughts that we might need to do this says enough for the team.
Yeah, it's not good.
Tristan McKenzie just got DFA'd from Cleveland. Is that something that we take a chance on and hope that he can eat a couple innings from the bullpen for us? Or
I mean, I think we're pretty much going to have to take a chance on anybody, but his ERA is worse than freaking Morton's right now. He's got an 11.1 this season so far. It's been
28 Ks and 30 innings. Irvin's at a 2.37 and 4 starts. That's great.
Yeah, it's just like I can't believe that we're praying that we can get Cole Irvin from the
in Pigtown.
Is that for Eflin? Is that a reference to Eflin?
Yeah. Missing tooth. I mean, does he need to? No. Especially after he's started 3 or 4 games this year.
That's all right.
I don't know. I just don't think the rehab starts should be more like building up the pitch count again. And if he's feeling comfortable and building it up in the bullpen, I think we're all right because he kind of already has a feel for it. Bauman has a 13-5 in 2 games so far in the NPB. That's not great, obviously, either. I saw another comment in here I wanted to bring up. I can't remember where it is. Oh, I think we need to eat the Morton contract and move on. We need a guy to start, but start at what cost? Yeah. I just don't think we are in a situation where we can do it yet. I would love to be able to. I also don't know if Dad, This is a conversation for later. This is one.
No. We've had this conversation on the podcast several times. Just to reiterate, Corbin Burns, we could have offered him $1 million, $1 trillion. He was going to Arizona no matter what. It's just he was not going to be a Baltimore Oriole unless we offered him like a Shohei Ohtani like contract, which is obviously you're not going to do.
Yeah.
Could we have?
Yeah, I mean, we're
made the Max Fried deal, maybe. Could we have traded for Dylan Cease or Garrett Crochet? Yeah, maybe. But we didn't do that. So, here we are. We've made our bed. Now we got to lay in it. And I don't know what the move is moving forward. But like Brooks said, we don't really have very many options when it comes to starting pitching. So, yeah, if it sucks if Charlie Morton's going to have to keep getting run out there and keep getting shelled. But I don't really know what we're going to do. Yeah, it's just now we're just talking in circles, but like,
yeah, I mean, and we're still waiting on everything's. I mean, I sent you guys the long list that Elias had in his interview last week. It looks like everyone's progressing pretty well in terms of McDermott. Ketridge looks like he's ahead of schedule. Rogers is progressing. So, but I mean, again, they still need to make rehab starts and get their pitch counts up. So we're still a little bit away from them coming. So, yeah, I don't know. I really don't. So, Brandon Young in his first start, I guess we need to talk about that a little bit. I appreciate the dude going out there and battling. I think he showed more nuts than a couple other guys that have been in the starting pitching staff this year. But he is he loves splitting the dick, doesn't he? He loves leaving a dick high down the middle every once in a while. Like he did that a lot and got away with a lot. Obviously, there was a lot that he didn't get away with, but there's plenty of times where he's fucking dick high down the middle, and I'm just like, oh my god, you are playing with fire, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, so. I didn't love what I saw out of him. I mean, I do appreciate the grit and going out there and fighting and honestly pound the strike zone. If you're going to miss over the plate, at least he's pounding the zone a little bit. And
exactly.
He's not giving.
We can't take any more walks. Jesus Christ,
it's crazy. The walks.
Let's look up.
The two most frustrating things for me this season from the starting pitching staff is the walks, and from the lineup is the double plays. Like we can't get runners over, and we're grounding into way too many double plays offensively, and it's just killing rallies, and it's killing the momentum of the game, in a lot of cases too.
Walks. The Dodgers actually have the most walks from a pitching staff standpoint. How many?
Well, our bullpen is probably kind of carrying a little bit.
Well, I just filtered this to starters. Actually, we are way down the list, 25th in walks from our starting pitching at 36, and the Dodgers have 57.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Yankees have 51 right now.
Games? How are they winning so many baseball games? Probably because their lineups are putting up more than one run a game. I don't know how we have all these talented guys on offense. Can we switch to the offense?
Yep. There's not much more we could say about the pitching staff. I don't even know where we go.
Yeah. So. I don't think the front office is happy, obviously. I know the fans aren't happy, but there's not really anything that we can do about it at this point until the other guys get healthy, unless we want to start blowing up the farm and making some trades for some arms. And I think at this point that might be a little bit short-sighted.
But again, who's going to trade with you at this point? That's half the problem. Because everyone's still trying to figure out what kind of team they have.
Yeah.
And a lot of the AL seems kind of stuck in the mud with us at the same time. I mean,
it is good news. That is the good news.
Orioles starting pitching's ERA is at 6.11, and we're obviously worst. I mean, fourth worst is the Yankees at 4.75. So I mean, their starting pitching looks like doo-doo as well.
Yeah. And look, we're 4 games back of first place in the American League East. Like Brooks has said multiple times, the best record in the American League is tied between Detroit and New York, and we're 4 games behind that. So it's not like it's insurmountable. We could have a good week and be right there with the top teams in the American League.
We could have a good series against the Yankees and maybe.
Exactly, yeah. And we have, we're going to Washington right now. That would be a huge, it would be nice to, get a series win, but I think at this point the team needs to start. I think the team needs a sweep, or we need something to
no spark, man. There's no spark at all.
Yeah, and of course tonight we're facing a lefty in Mitchell Parker, who's a young kid, 25 years old, who's got a 1.85 so far this year. He walks some guys. He's got 9 walks in 24 innings this year so far. So hopefully we can get some base runners on and just take advantage. We need that pitching defense and a 3-run homer, and the pitching is just not there.
I mean, why can't we hit a Gilman-esque lefty throwing doo-doo like at all? Like
Brent
we can't.
Suter.
So we had a opener and Suter.
I've ever seen him.
They used him as an opener, and he ended up going 60 or 70 pitches because we couldn't freaking hit him. We just pop everything up.
He was throwing room temperature. He was throwing like 86.
Yeah, and then I said it. I love the guy who started the first game against us for the Reds. Like the guy pitched his ass off, but I mean he didn't have amazing stuff. It's just so frustrating, man.
Switching to the offense. I mean, just talking about the offense in general, it's just not been there. Westy broke an 0 for 30 in that route, which you don't see out of him. He's normally like Mr. Consistency in our lineup.
Yeah.
I don't know if Cowser getting hurt was really the big blow to the lineup. It doesn't feel like that. It shouldn't be because there's so much talent around him. And even Gunnar started picking it up the last couple games. It seems like he's starting to get hot. Setty's been red hot all year. O'Hearn's been really good all year. It seems like O'Neill's been really good all year, but it doesn't seem like they're coming together to score any runs. I don't know. Is the run production a result of the lineups, or do we think it's just bad luck at this point? Like, I mean, what do you guys think about the lack of run production just in general, based on the fact that it seems like we have some decent players playing decently on offense?
It's the lineups. It's the constant juggling of the lineup. At least to me, it's the constant juggling of the lineup. No one knows where the hell they're going to be on a daily basis.
Yeah, it seems like it's got a little bit better in that in the last series. Well, I guess between Cleveland and Cincinnati, it got a little bit more consistent, I felt like. But it's still, I mean, I don't know. Do you just play the hot hand at this point? Urias is killing the ball. I mean, I just don't know. I don't even know where to go. We're 17th in average as a team at 232, and the best team in the league is the Padres at 274.
Wow, they're hitting 274.
And here's why the Yankees are 4 games ahead of us, because they're hitting 258.
Yeah. Well, when you have Aaron Judge eating baseballs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that helps.
Yeah. He's still hitting above 400 right now.
Probably. He is hitting 384 with a 490 OBP. So yeah, it's good.
Just where's the spark going to come from? We need something.
I don't know, man. It just feels like something needs to happen, and it's just not going well for the O's at this point. On a positive note for the Orioles,
Thank God.
Did you guys see? And this is really great news because this is literally the reason I still have cable. Masson is launching a direct-to-consumer streaming option called Masson Plus that will feature every O's and Nationals game. It costs $19.99 a month to subscribe, or $89.99 for the remainder of the regular season. It starts now, basically, as far as I know. It starts like as of right now, and so now you don't have to pay that bullshit cable, the whole bullshit cable subscription just to watch your Orioles games. Masson Plus is only available for in-market fans, and it has no blackout and no cable satellite subscription required. So if you're in Maryland or wherever Masson is a local network, then you're going to be able to do this. And I'm going to do this and cancel Comcast straight up. It's going to cost me a whole lot less money, because the only reason I still have Comcast is because I couldn't get Orioles games. And if I can't get Orioles games, what's the point of having a television in my house? I mean, seriously, I just don't. I mean, I watch every game. So
if I can't scuba, what's this been all about?
Yeah. What's this all been for? So yeah, obviously, if you're out of market, get those VPNs going and get yourself going somehow. And I really like this, and hopefully the Masson app has some new software behind it, because the Masson app has been a complete travesty for a really long time. It's really hard to use, and it's not very user friendly. So hopefully they figure that out as well. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. This is really great news, and $90 for the rest of the month, I'd pay that in a heartbeat.
I know, I wonder if that's going to be like, it's probably $100 for like next season, probably like $100.
Which is fine with me. It's fine with me. It's better than me paying $300 a month for a Comcast.
Doesn't help me at all.
Well, get a VPN, dude.
But I've already. I mean, it doesn't cost me. It's like $150 for MLB for the year. So I mean, that's not bad.
For
the only time,
and you get every game, right?
Yeah,
I get every game except for like Cincinnati. I had to do a free trial to watch those games. Luckily, I didn't really have to do it because my in-laws get Fubo TV, and it was on there. And so yeah, 160. Joe probably pays for the same thing I have as well for MLB. So I don't get Cincinnati, and I don't get Cubs or White Sox, I believe, are the other ones.
So a couple series a year, you're gonna have to figure out a way to watch the game, but for the most part, you're gonna be fine, right?
Yeah, I just do a free trial for Fubo or wherever I need to get it through.
Yeah, perfect.
So.
I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited about the fact that we're going to be able to watch Orioles baseball however we want, wherever we want, and if we're on our phone, we can watch it now too. I've been frustrated with that because if you go on the Comcast streaming service, if you go on Masson, it says you have to be on your in-home Wi-Fi to watch it. It's so stupid. I don't get it. I pay for the cable,
they're finally starting to do stuff. Yeah.
Cavs just lost a defenseman for the playoffs. Martin
Dubois.
No, Martin Favory just got knocked out for the playoffs. Defenseman.
I cannot say.
I actually don't know who that is.
That I know who that is. Yeah. I guess while we're on baseball, Jose Ramirez hit a home run last night, moves him to second all time in Cleveland Guardians Indians franchise history in extra base hits. He's got 668 extra base hits. He just passed Tris Speaker, who's a Hall of Famer, and he's only trailing Earl Averill. If you've heard of that guy, let me know, because I haven't.
He also played defense for the Caps.
He must have played a long time ago. But yeah, just a model of consistency, Jose Ramirez. I like to give him his flowers whenever we can because I just really like that guy.
He's one of my favorite players. He's so under the radar. I still don't understand how he is. Us degenerate baseball, guys know who he is, but it's not a household name. And he doesn't look like he should be doing what the hell he does in terms of stealing bases and hitting bombs.
No.
Yeah. One thing I do want to bring up with Jose Urias just hitting Ramirez. So well. Ramon Urias, Jose Ramirez. I just mixed up, put two players together there.
People together, yeah.
He's hitting 319 right now. He's got 47 at bats. Our top guy with the most at bats is Adley with 70. I mean, here you go. You got Adley 77, Cedric 67, Jordan Westbrook 72, and Mountcastle 66. I mean, if you're hitting 320 right now, I mean, he was up as high as 350. So obviously he's probably starting to cool off a little bit. But I mean, do you just ride the hot hand right now? And where do you put him? Do you just put him at DH? Do you throw him in the outfield somewhere? Like, I don't even know what to do at this point.
It's tough. Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the reason O'Hearn's been playing more in right field because they want to get O'Hearn and Mountie in the lineup, but they also want to get Urias in the lineup, and they just don't really have any other way to do it.
O'Hearn's hitting 296.
Yeah.
Mountie's hitting 242. Kerstad's at 261, but I mean, he's having great at bats still. It just feels like we have so much talent and we're not scoring runs. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's mind-boggling.
It's what Pigtown and I were talking about in his podcast. When his podcast the other day, we talked about we are just too talented of a team to be in the position that we are in. And that's going to probably cost Brandon Hyde his job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I know a lot of Orioles fans have been calling for that. It's just, it's been really frustrating for sure. But look, we're powering forward. It's April 22nd, guys. This season goes through September. We got a lot of time to right the ship. Just looking here at league leaders, Fernando Tatis is having a crazy start to the season. Not sure that's why part of the reason the Padres are doing so well. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh is leading the league in home runs with 9, along with Tyler Soderstrom, who's coming out of nowhere for the Athletics. No affiliation with any city, just the Athletics.
Just the Athletics. Just the Sac A's. The Sac A's. Well, I mean, and to put that into perspective, like the league leaders at 9, Cedric's at 6 right now, guys.
Yeah,
6. He's leading the team in RBIs.
Contract year, baby.
3 stolen bases. I love it. This is what we all were hoping for. Like, do I think that we're going to re-sign him? No, I really don't. I
don't either.
I don't either. I mean, I hate to say it, but I just don't. I mean, there's somebody coming up. It's the same thing when Adam Jones was here and he took his spot. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe, I mean, he wants to stay here. Maybe he'll take a team-friendly deal for a year or 2. Who knows? But I'm gonna stay optimistic here just because we have 0 spark. We have 0 starting pitching at the moment. All that can turn around very quickly in the matter of a series if you just get some momentum moving. And like we talked about at the beginning, we're 4 games back. I know we're very thin at the starting pitching position right now. Let's talk positive. I mean, their bullpen is still lights out. I mean, for the most part, besides a couple guys like and Poteet coming in and trying to, I mean, they left him out to dry because they kind of had to. They tried to hold off pitching some position players for as long as they could. So there's some optimism here. We're still right in this race. If we were playing in the National League in a couple divisions, we could see ourselves pretty close to falling out of the out of contention here. And so I still got hope. I can't sit here and give up this early in the season.
Yeah, it's been ugly, guys. It's Oriole fans. We're trying to stay positive, but it's been a really tough go of it so far. So we'll try to stay positive as much as we can here. Optimistic until tonight's game, but yeah, we're talking in circles, man. It's tough. It's a tough thing to do, and that's baseball, man. It's a long season. It's a grind, and there's going to be lulls, and we're just getting ours out of the way.
What's our pitching matchup tonight?
Dean Kramer versus Mitchell Parker. Mitchell Parker's a lefty, like I said.
All right, Dean.
We're facing 2 lefties in the Nats series, so I would assume we're going to see Ramon a couple times.
Again, Dean, as much as like he struggled in a couple outings at the beginning of this year, he still was a bulldog for those outings. So, and last outing, he was a bulldog again and had a great outing. So let's hope he's building on that. Give us 6 innings. And I mean, at this point, Hyde's going to have to start letting these guys go a little bit. I know they love playing the analytics game in terms of like 3rd time around the lineup and trying to match up with some bullpen guys, but we are so I said this at the beginning of the season, like our bullpen's going to start getting tired because they're getting overworked already this early in the season. They're pitching great. They really are. But now's the time where you might need to like start letting some guys stretch them out a little bit, let them get out of some situations. So
I feel like we're having the same fucking conversations we were having last year.
Instead of second half.
Yeah, second half season.
Instead of it not being the bullpen, it's starting pitching this time. I just feel like I'm tired. I'm tired as a fan. I am tired of watching it. And I know the team's tired of this shit too.
Yeah.
But God damn it, we're too good to be talking negative all the time. And I know, negativity sells. I don't want to be negative. I don't need to be a salesman when it comes to the Orioles. I want to be a fan that loves watching the ball game. And right now, I'm waiting for the impending doom during the game. I'm just like, when's it going to happen? When's the hammer going to drop?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can live with where we're at right now, like in terms of like everyone's going to slump. Everyone's going to go, not everybody, but you're going to get, we're thin on pitching right now, starting pitching wise. I get that. The fundamentals of the game that we're seeing that are just not there in terms of like stupid shit is the most frustrating part of this whole thing. It really is. Just stupid stuff. We talked about it early in the season when they were missing some cutoff guys. It seems like they've righted the ship with that a little bit. But balls dropping in Bermuda triangles on lines with no communication, and that goes back to not knowing your guys that are playing around you and what they feel comfortable, what their range is. You don't know what that range is. And it's stupid shit like that. And maybe this is the time that we're getting through this a little bit, and you're still learning a couple guys. Like Tyler O'Neill looked terrible out there a couple times early in the year in some bad weather situations. I'll give him that. But he's gotten a lot more comfortable and leads the league in assists, I believe, right now. Starting to get a little bit better, but it's still very frustrating that we're having stupid, airheaded, boneheaded plays out there and errors. So communication stuff should never happen. It shouldn't. Like that's a fundamental easy thing that you can figure out. Just fucking talk.
Yeah. Shout out Bermuda
Triangle. Bermuda Triangle.
Natalie Holloway, is that her name?
I don't know.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Amelia Earhart.
You ever, when you were in college, Brooks or Dustin, for you in high school, you ever see like an outfield collision, like live?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had one.
Seen plenty of them.
We had one my sophomore year down in Georgia, where third baseman and left fielder collided in one of those Bermuda Triangle plays where they had to bring an ambulance on the field and take him off. Yeah,
I've never
knocked him out
like
cold.
That. Do you have any stories, Bri?
Well, I got two really bad. I hate to say bad, but they are bad. But one, we were playing college. We were playing, we were playing at Lynchburg, and their outfielders ran into each other. And the sound of two bodies hitting like that is You remember that noise the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That and if you see a pitcher take a ball off the head, you always remember that too.
That's where I was going with this next one. When I was coaching high school, my first year out of college, I was coaching at public school at the time, and we go to Lansdowne. Never forget this as long as I live. We get off the bus and we're walking like up to the field, and there's a coach. He's got the L screen and everything, and he's just he's throwing beeps, he's throwing BP, and he did not get behind the L, and he took one off. It was like he got shot with a gun, like the way his body went back. And that's when we had to call the ambo to like come out on the field. We didn't even play the game. I thought the guy died like right in front of me.
Jesus. Yeah, that's scary stuff, man.
Because that's when we were still using those metal bats that weren't composite. So they were the -3s made of like, stuff the stealth bombers made out of. So,
Yeah, that's scary stuff. It can be a dangerous game, man, at times for sure. And those are two different stories. Two outfielders. It could be something stupid, like two outfielders running into each other. It could just be like something you just didn't get your head behind the L screen in time, and the line drive just hit you right.
Tell me if I'm wrong here. It just seems like our guys are always, and besides Gunnar, because Gunnar seems like he's gotten to the point now where he's like, "Fuck it, I'm taking everything unless you absolutely are going to call me off." Even outfielders or left fielders, I guess.
Yeah.
Center field, he'll probably give Cedric. I think he trusts Cedric, but it doesn't seem like he trusts anybody in left field. He's just going to go balls out and try to get everything at this point.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that, but I don't doubt it.
But I'm glad. I'm glad he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go get it.
I wish everyone was like that.
I know. And it just seems like everybody else. No, I shouldn't say everybody else, but a lot of the other guys, when these situations happen, they're just waiting on somebody else to call them off. And it's just like, no, fucking take charge. You know the hierarchy here. You do these in spring training. You've done these the entire life, like communication drills down the line. Like everybody knows left fielder take charge, and then shortstop's probably second in command there. And like third baseman should not be catching anything unless he's the only one that can catch it. So
I can see Brooks's frustration. Obviously I can hear him, but I can see his frustration in the reflection of his hands, which aren't on camera, but in the glare off of your bookshelf in the back. And you're just like,
well, can you imagine like sitting there as like a starting pitching staff that's like struggling? You're just like, man, can we just make the fucking easy play? Like, just make it. Like, help me out here. Like, I'm struggling. Like, those guys got to help pick up too. fundamental stuff like that is just something that just, I don't know, as a starting pitcher at times, you're just like, come on, guys, just like help. Like, I'm struggling here. Help me out a little bit. Like, I finally made a decent pitch. I got to pop up down the line. I know this is a tough play, but just fucking go get it, man.
Yeah. Well, look, we go ahead, Dustin. Go ahead and finish this off because I think we're all gonna lose our minds.
I hated you for pointing out Brooks's hand gestures in the back. The only thing I could think about for the last couple minutes was Ace Ventura and When Nature Calls when he's doing like the shadow puppets on the wall. He's like, "Hi ho, Silver, away!" Such a dumb movie. Why do I like it so much?
Hey, does my Wi-Fi keep going in and out? Because you guys keep freezing on my end. Is it?
Nah, you're getting fuzzy every now and then, but you're fine. You're
not free.
Yeah.
All right, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, Wi-Fi is really good here, but all right. We did. That's a shame, and we just got off on the Orioles tangent, rightfully so.
Yeah. There's a couple other things I wanted to mention. That's a shame territory as well. So go ahead first. Yeah.
My that's a shame isn't baseball oriented. It's actually basketball oriented. The Memphis Grizzlies lost a playoff game by 51 points.
That was exactly mine. I looked up at the TV. It was the same day I was working and the Orioles were getting shit on. I had it on the middle TV in the restaurant at Cabanas. And I looked up and I think it was the second quarter or maybe the beginning of the third quarter. And the score was like 70-30. And I was like, is this a playoff game?
Yeah.
They lost by 50. They went down by 60 at one point. They went on a run to get down by 51.
Like, what? And then John Morant, I love it because he has nothing he can say. And they're like, he comes out and says, this will never happen again. Okay, what if he came out and said, you know what, this is going to happen again in game 2?
Honestly, if I was John Morant, I would just never speak or do anything. Just walk down, just play basketball and just shut your mouth for a couple years. And, then you could show your personality again because that guy has been going through some shit, man, the last couple years. I thought he was going to be the next big star in the league. And then he just kind of, for lack of a better term, shot himself in the foot. But yeah, that's a shame as well. Brooks, did you have any shameful things that you wanted to talk about other than the Orioles and John
not
Cena?
Necessarily.
John Cena's behavior at WrestleMania was despicable.
I didn't watch it.
I always harp on the transfer portal. So another that's a shame is basically UCLA and Tennessee just did a quarterback trade. In college, They traded quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what's the kid from Tennessee that wanted $4 million? What is UCLA giving him half of that? Or?
Yeah, he's getting like 1.75, I think, is the actual confirmed total. He was making $2 million at Tennessee.
So he's taking a pay cut.
He took a pay cut. Now he's coming out and saving face and saying that he wanted a change in the offense. So that's why he's moved. He wanted more fucking money. Like, come on, don't bullshit.
Weren't they like one of the best offenses in college football last year? Weren't they really good at Tennessee?
They're really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know that situation. Why he would come out and do that shit? That's just an asinine statement.
Yeah.
And like the kid that's going from UCLA to Tennessee is getting like 1.2 million. He made $200,000 from UCLA to never play a game. So he was already getting his NIL money, because it's not the season right now. So he made $200,000 not to play for UCLA.
That must be pretty fun as like a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid getting that kind of dough. Yeah, I don't know what I would do with it, but probably wouldn't be very good. I'm very smart with my money. Also, shout out, that's a shame, quick, to Nico Harrison, the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, who is basically getting asked in his pressers if he thinks he should get fired or if he thinks he should quit. And he's got no good answer as to why. He says, I don't think I should be judged on how I built this team because of the injuries that we've sustained. It's just like, well, you traded like the fourth best player in the league for a bag of peanuts like 2 months ago, man. And you traded him for a guy named Street Clothes. And guess what? He got hurt in the first fucking game, and he hasn't played another game since. So, yeah, that guy's a freaking idiot.
You remember when Charles Barkley called him Street Clothes?
Yeah.
What if they did – that's NBA on TNT. Like, and that, by the way, that show's fantastic. That is just
last night after the Nuggets Clippers game, Shaq apparently has been drinking shots of olive oil for the last couple of weeks, 1 per day, because he's doing like a cleanse, and this is supposed to cleanse you out. And he literally, in the middle of Charles Barkley talking after the game last night, got up and walked away from the desk, and they're like, "What is going on?" Ernie's like, "I've never seen anything like this." He doesn't say anything. He just holds his stomach. He's got bubble guts, and he's just running off the stage. He's got to go take a shit. And they're just laughing at him. And then Kenny the Jet makes so many jokes when he gets back that Shaq actually got kind of pissed at him because he's like, "Stop making jokes about this, dude." It was great. You literally never know what's going to happen on that show. That's why it's so great.
This show it's so awesome. And like someone, I can't remember who brought this up. It might have been Dan Patrick. So I watch that every day and get a lot of my knowledge from that. But said something like, why don't you guys do an entire Mavericks game like in street clothes instead of like a suit and tie, and just have one regular old, like, like a Canadian tuxedo or something, or whatever these idiots wear in these interviews now.
I love it. I mean, whatever. Okay, what's going on in the chat right now? We're talking about, did you hear there's a Netflix show that exposes the scripts in WWE? I did not hear about this. The goings on behind the scenes in wrestling is sacred. It's unspoken that the curtain is ever lifted as high as it has been with this Netflix show. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that'll affect wrestling moving forward.
What are we getting at here? You're saying you can basically
so I think
happen, or you're gonna find out what's gonna happen in advance? I'm confused.
Based on my limited research, because I just looked it up now, they're doing a show on Netflix called like WWE Unscripted or WWE Exposed or something like that, where after the fact they're going to go back and like show you basically the behind the scenes of leading up to the match and how they booked the match and all that stuff, and they're going to give you like a inside baseball kind of thing.
Is that
obviously with wrestling?
Why is that bad?
I think just
I'm coming from a place of I have no fucking idea. So if I ask a stupid question, I apologize.
No, I think for a really long time, like the whole like wrestling is fake thing, or like wrestling is scripted thing was like really faux pas to talk about in the wrestling community. Obviously now with all the technology we have, it was impossible for people not to find out, because back in the day, I mean, in the 60s and 70s, this was real to people, to a lot of people, even adults. And I think it just, it removes a lot of the blurred lines. I don't know how that affects WWE moving forward. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to reach that big of an audience to affect like the long-term success. Maybe it's just going to be for like the super mega fans. And I think they probably want this kind of stuff. So I don't know if that's going to be a hugely detrimental thing, but I can understand where you're coming from, Nick. I don't know.
Can you bet on wrestling?
No, I think there's certain sports books that'll take them, but the odds are like ridiculous, and you can only put like $100 max on each thing. You know what I mean? It's like they give you very limited guidelines.
Yeah, I feel like that would be leading down a dangerous road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's insider trading written all over it. There's guys who are making the scripts.
Yeah,
start putting money through through two other people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk.
How was WrestleMania? We're on the topic of wrestling. How was WrestleMania? I'm sure you watched a bunch of it, Dusty.
I watched it after the fact because I had a buddy in town this weekend and I had to work most of the weekend too. So we watched it. I watched a little bit of it the Saturday night while it was happening, but we were kind of half in the bag by then. So I don't really. I kind of rewatched it and kind of picked and chose what I watched. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was anything special. I didn't really get invested in like the quote unquote storylines moving into the matches other than the main event, which was John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, which I thought was just wasn't very good. Honestly, the match. I don't really like the new trend in wrestling where everyone just kind of hits their finisher 6 times and everyone just keeps kicking out of it. I think it just kind of ruins the whole point of the finishing move.
Yeah.
I like them doing a lot of high spot, like doing a lot of like really cool stuff and innovative stuff, and it just seemed like it was kind of like cookie cutter WrestleMania main event kind of stuff, and they didn't really do anything out of the ordinary, other than the fact that John Cena is a bad guy now, and I just think that's kind of lame. So I thought WrestleMania was okay, but like the match I was looking forward to the most kind of disappointed me a bit.
Okay. What was it held at the? Was it still called T-Mobile Arena, or was it held in the Sphere?
It was held in the Sphere, the big Roomba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the big Roomba. Yeah.
No, I thought they called the Roomba was like the name of the football stadium.
That's where they had it, the football stadium, not the Sphere.
Okay.
Yeah. They had it in the football
Sphere.
Stadium. Yeah.
Okay.
They had like over the course of 2 nights, they had like 124,000 fans in there. So they went. I mean, it was crazy. 60,000 fans in there. I mean,
yeah, I just saw some that says it was the most watched WWE, top grossing WWE event ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't know if that's like in adjusted numbers. Probably not, I would guess. But WWE knows how to market themselves. So whenever they can get numbers like that, they're going to put that out and make it seem like they're doing super successful.
I mean, this is
business. And I think honestly, they probably are.
These numbers are insane. What I'm reading, I'm literally just browsing through this real fast. Viewership went up 114%.
I mean, that's just solely due to like the Netflix stuff I think that Nick was talking about last time.
Netflix and Peacock. Peacock in the U.S., Netflix worldwide.
It hit up over 700 million Netflix subscribers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I picked and choose what I watched. I watched a bit of it. I watched the Triple Threat on Saturday. I watched a couple of the other matches. But I just thought it was, I thought it was just okay as far as, the hyped up of WrestleMania goes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Stone Cold came out on the four-wheeler and was running it around the ring and lost control and ran into the barricade and knocked some lady over.
Like a random lady?
Yeah, the lady was sitting in the front rows like she was up against the barricade. He was running the four-wheeler around the ring like he used to do back in the day, and he ran the four-wheeler straight into the barricade and knocked this lady over. I think she's fine. I wouldn't be laughing at it otherwise, but I just thought that was hilarious. I'm sure he had a couple Steve Weisers in him when he did that. Yeah, let's transition into the RBC Heritage. Justin Thomas wins his first golf tournament since the 2022 PGA Championship, where he defeated Will Zalatoris in a playoff after having a crazy Sunday and coming back and winning that tournament out of nowhere. Wins this one in a playoff over Andrew Novak. And what a start to the golf season we've had. I mean, Minwoo wins in a playoff. Rory wins the Players in a playoff, wins the Masters in a playoff. Scotty Scheffler is number 3 in the FedEx rankings. He can't even hit the golf ball seemingly by his standards, and he's still coming T10 in every tournament.
Yeah, I saw Dan Rappaport was like, he goes, man, I was about to tweet something like a slow start like by Scotty, and he keeps putting himself in a position to win. He goes, then I looked at the FedEx standing, and he's in 3rd, so I shut my mouth.
There's different levels and different levels of expectations for each player. But I love RBC. I love this tournament because I think this golf course is awesome and the fans always show out for it. And the 18th hole is so unique to look at. And I'm glad that they got to showcase it in that playoff. And JT hitting that putt from like 20 feet to win the playoff was awesome. That thing was never out of the center of the cup. And we had a lot of good players finish high in this tournament. Daniel Berger is having a really good bounce back season after a couple bad years. Brian Harmon looks like he's kind of finding his game. Tommy Fleetwood, Scotty Scheffler, Russell Henley, Hovland, Cantlay, Schauffele, Spieth, all in the top 20 in this tournament. Keegan. I think really this tournament solidifies Justin Thomas as a part of the Ryder Cup team. And not that he wouldn't have been anyway, but he wasn't on the President's Cup team last year, or was he? I can't remember. He had a really tough go, and so yeah, I'm really happy for him that he's getting back into the winner's circle, and he did it with Max Homa's old caddy, by the way, Joe Greiner. Which is interesting. I'm wondering if he's going to be leaning on that guy to carry his bag as the season progresses, or if he's going to go back to his regular scheduled caddy. We have kind of a down week, I believe, this week in the PGA Tour schedule, right?
And then PGA after that, right?
So we have the Byron Nelson this week, which is not an elevated event. It's one of just the regular events. And then the week after that is the Truist Championship, which is normally the Wells Fargo Championship, which they play at Quail Hollow every year. But this year they're playing in Philly because the PGA is at Quail Hollow. So 2 weeks until the PGA Championship, May 15th, or 3 weeks, sorry.
I'm sorry, guys. Are we going to get demonetized if we show a minor leaguer's bat flip from the Red Sox?
No, go for it.
I saw this bat flip. It's ridiculous. It goes about 40 feet in the air.
Andy Lugo, if someone can pull this up, this thing goes like almost upper deck.
I'll watch it. I'll pull it up here. Wonder if he has any relation to Julio Lugo.
In terms of golf, I really, Dusty, we're all golf guys, but Dusty, you are way deeper into it, especially because of the betting stuff.
Yeah.
But I really feel like we're coming into, if not already in, a golden age of golf with some just dynamic guys in their early mid 30s. I think Scotty's still in his 20s. Mm-hmm. But when you look at all the names you just ripped off, with the DeChambeaus and the Scotties and the Spieths and the Justin Thomases and the Victor Hovlands and Louis Oberg. Like, there's so many great golfers. I can't remember that many good golfers during like the Tiger era. Not even though Tiger was dominating, it was really just Tiger and Phil, and that would be it. All you really talk about.
They were the top two. I mean, you got like DeMarco in there every once in a while.
Yeah. David Duval. Now there's so many dudes. Like, honestly, now I know Scotty. We were talking about Scotty versus the field, but there's like 15, 20. Sometimes 30 dudes that can win these tournaments.
Yeah. I mean, look going back from this week, the winners of the tournaments: Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, Brian Harmon, Min-Woo Lee, Victor Hovland, Rory McIlroy, Russell Henley, Ludwig Aberg, Rory McIlroy again, Harris English, Sepp Straka, Nick Taylor, Hideki Matsuyama. I mean, these are fucking household names winning all these golf tournaments. There's so many good players. It's crazy. A lot of these guys are really young. It's in a really good spot, other than the fact that half of the game is in a different league that nobody watches.
Yeah, golf can somehow find a way to fuck this up when you have all these amazing players who can become household names, and then they go and play in shorts and drinking beers and listening to music and on the live tour.
Yeah,
I'd say the PGA fucked that up.
Oh yeah.
The PGA was mismanaged for a really long time, and it got exposed, and that's why live is a thing. And it just sucks that it's taking so long for it to get back together, because I think once it does, it's going to be so amazing to watch. All right, I'll share the screen here for this bat flip that we got here, and hopefully this works for y'all. This is the bat flip that this guy put on in the minors.
And he swings and he rifles it deep into right center field in the driveway. It will be a 425-foot single to the triangle. Blaze celebration.
I'm gonna play it one more time just so you can see the bat in frame.
And he rifles it deep into It will be a 425-foot single to
the thing I don't love about it is that it wasn't even a homer. It's a long single. That's some Carlos Gomez stuff. I'm sure if Brooks was the pitcher, he would not have been happy about that.
425 feet. That's a deep ass ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's like the old Minute Maid.
Yeah, I'd be a little. I mean, I don't mind a bat flip on a walk off, but I mean, if you're bat flipping like that, it better go over the fence, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
You can't be hitting that off the freaking off the warning track. No warning track power there.
Yeah, I could see him getting brushed back in the next game a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hopefully that was the last game of that series for his
sake. Yeah, right. Yeah. better because if I was pitching, I mean, I mean, especially back in the day when bat flips were very frowned upon, especially by me.
Oh yeah.
I'm good with bat flips now. I actually encourage them. I think they're a lot of fun, just because I think pitchers have a lot of fun when they get strikeouts at the end of innings now too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's cool to see as well. But I mean, you can't do that on a walk-off single or double, whatever you want to even call that. He smoked it. He smoked
he
it. But I
smoked it
mean,
for sure. Yeah.
but I mean, it's got to go over the fence to throw it that high.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's great. It grows the game. I think it's definitely something that the kids really like, and I think that's really what we need in baseball is to get more kids into the game.
We just don't need stuff like who was it? Was it for the Marlins? That's all right. This is that's a shame. The dude who pimped this ball off the fence.
It's recent.
So Jared Kelenic for the Braves.
Yeah, like hit it off the fence, pimped it out of the box, like all the way down the first base line, and then it hits off the fence, and then he picks it up and gets thrown out at second base.
Yeah,
I don't know if he got pulled right after this, but I mean, if I'm the Braves fan or if I'm the manager of that team, I'm saying pull him the rest of the fucking game.
1,000,000%. And also Ronald Acuna went on Twitter afterwards and was getting criticized because he didn't come out and say in his press conference that he was disappointed in Kelenic. And then he came back on Twitter to the guy who tweeted the thing and was just like, if that was me, I would have gotten pulled out of the game right the fuck away or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know if that's good team chemistry building stuff out of Ronald Acuna, but yeah, Kelenic just completely dogged it out of the box. Thought it was a dinger, and then tries to stretch it into two and gets thrown out. It's not the first time it's happened, and it won't be the last. But
see, and that's where like the bat flipping can hurt the game a little bit. Like you better fucking know that thing's gone.
Yep.
It better not be a wall scraper.
No, absolutely not. If you're bat flipping, that ball's got to go 40 feet over the fence minimum.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a lot probably on Thursday about the NFL draft because it is Thursday night. I saw that Peter Schrager came out and said that the Browns and Giants are both fielding offers for trades. I would imagine every team, if you're that high in the draft, should be fielding offers. I don't know if that's necessarily a report I care about, just because I think if you're not fielding offers, then you're not doing your due diligence as a general manager of a professional sports team, especially when you have that high of a pick and people are going to offer you. We've seen packages that are crazy for these top picks.
Did you see where Schefter came? Did you see where Schefter came out and said that the Titans notified Cam Ward that he's going to be the number 1 overall pick?
I did not see that, but it doesn't surprise me because it feels like for like the last month, if you watch any of the draft analysis stuff, it feels like that's where everyone's been trending.
Yeah, but it's it's bullshit season right now.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. It 100% could flip, and we've seen it flip on its head before. So yeah, well, once again, we're going to get deeper into the NFL draft stuff on Thursday because I think we're going to need we're going to have a lot more time to prepare for that. And the draft is Thursday night, so we'll get into that. I think we should get into our snake draft.
Yeah, well, I was going to say this about the draft. This is bullshitting season, so I don't trust anything that anyone says and that's one of the shitty things about the draft too, is people they make up rumors about players that they might be able to fall to them in the draft. And that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're blatantly telling lies.
Yeah. I mean, do you see that often? I haven't seen any specific stuff like that, but yeah, you're right. I'm sure that stuff does happen, right?
No, I mean, a lot of the stuff when the shit comes out about like how bad they did on certain tests and stuff like that, basically saying they're an idiot, or like some personal stuff comes out, like that's the stuff that I don't like. I don't mind you sitting there saying like, hey, we're not interested in this guy, or we are interested in this guy, but don't just talk shit on a guy just to get him to follow you. Or leak it out there. It just I don't like it.
Especially if it gets bad, the information gets back to you, then you and the player, if you want to draft them, might not have a great relationship after that either.
Yeah.
So I think that can be a little bit of a slippery slope there. But anyway, let's get into our draft this week. And today's snake draft is number 1 overall NFL picks. We're going to do the best of the best, and we have the best of the best intros in the game for this. So we're going to throw that on now. Oh man, Brooks, who won last week's snake draft? Man, best
I
wrestlers.
think you did actually.
Yeah, I think I did too.
Let me double check. Let me double check. But
honestly-
last I checked, it was you.
Honestly, when we did the draft, I thought any of us three could have won, and
Yeah.
I really liked Brian's
Rusty.
team. But yeah, man, people love Jeff Hardy. Got him at number 4.
Well, Stone Cold. I mean, if you get Stone Cold number 1, you're gonna win a lot.
I mean,
of
all
people
the number
over.
1 picks were great. Stone Cold, The Rock, and The Undertaker. That's like
It's great.
that's Mount Rushmore
Sure.
wrestling there.
What do you want to pick, Dusty?
I want to know. I guess there's a clear number 1 to me, and usually whenever there's a clear number 1, I like to take number 1. But I picked number 1 in the last couple drafts. Give me number 3. I'm gonna take
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'll take number 1. Since I was number 2 in last week's draft, and then Dusty or Brian is number 3. So that being said, with the what? Well, yeah, I'm actually surprised. Man, yeah,
What?
about Brian coming in 3rd. I would have been surprised with anybody coming in 3rd. I feel like they were pretty evenly matched groups there. Just depends on your favorite, I guess, when you're voting. But yeah, I think there with Dusty here, there's a clear cut number 1 overall favorite here, and it's Peyton Manning.
Yep. I don't argue with you there. I think he's got to be the answer here. 5-time MVP, right? It's a pretty good career, I'd say.
Yeah.
From
Two rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I will go with the person who brought Peyton Manning to Denver, and I will take John Elway.
Look at that. John Elway, career-saving move as a front office exec because he could not draft a quarterback to save his fucking life.
Paxton Lynch.
Brett Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler, yeah.
Brock Osweiler, yeah.
Oh, my God. Trevor Siemian.
Ooh.
Okay, so I get back-to-back here. I have to go Troy Aikman, 3-time Super Bowl champion quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, although I don't necessarily know if he was the reason they won all those or if they were just a really great team. I'm sure. I mean, obviously, he was a great player, Hall of Fame guy. And I want to go recent here, but I just don't think I can because O.J. Simpson is still on the board. I kind of have to take the juice. And I know he's a pretty controversial guy, to say the least.
Is he?
But he's certainly one of the best running backs in the history of football, and I would be.
What'd he do?
An Isotoners commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
Something about
I knew I
gloves.
recognized him from somewhere.
Something about gloves. Brian, what do we have? What do we have after OJ there?
I'm gonna go pretty recent, and also because we're forecasting this guy might be one of the best defensive players of all time when it's all said and done. I'm gonna go Myles Garrett because he's one of the quickest guys to 100 sacks.
What year was he number 1? 2017.
This is forecasting how good he's going to be moving
Yeah,
forward.
absolutely. And I think that part of that is you're going to have to do that in this draft.
Yeah. Back to me. My next pick's going to be Bruce Smith. Give me the Hall of Famer.
Yeah. At one point, the all-time leading sack guy.
Yep. That dude was a monster. And then, if you're going to take Juice, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't take Earl Campbell.
I like it. Earl Campbell. Yeah, I mean, we're running through Hall of Famers right now, except for the Myles Garrett pick, but we have a projection on him that's Hall of Fame upside.
We see it.
Yeah,
we see it.
It's coming.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't slam his helmet onto any other players. All right, Brian, who we got?
All right.
Russell?
Nope.
I wanted to say Vernon Golston, but I didn't realize he wasn't the number 1 pick that year.
No. He's like number 5 or 6 to the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets, yeah.
I'm stuck between 2. Give me Mike Vick.
Whoa! I love it. What an factory that guy was, Michael Vick.
He was like someone. I remember that Virginia Tech versus Florida State game. That was fucking. I think it was a BCS game, like when the national championship was done by the BCS.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was he was the best player on the field.
And I think he was a freshman or a sophomore. Like he was young, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with you. I love Mike Vick, especially when we were kids. I mean, Madden 04 with Mike Vick on it. That was
We had to put ground rules in that you couldn't take the Falcons at one point.
Yeah.
We would put him in as our punt returner.
Yeah.
All right. So I get 2 in a row here. I'm going to take Matthew Stafford now.
It's cool.
Super Bowl winning quarterback. I think probably going to be a Hall of Famer. One of the more underrated guys of his generation of quarterbacks. And I'm going to take Hall of Famer Orlando Pace. One of the very best offensive linemen in the history of football, with like 1 million Pro Bowls for the St. Louis Rams. Tackle out of Ohio State, and a Super Bowl champion with the greatest show on turf, I believe. So, I'm going to take Orlando Pace. So I have, Brian goes, and then Brooks finishes this off, and then we'll come back.
Okay. I'm going to go with Mr. Chuck Bednarik, one of the best defensive players of all time, even though obviously we never got to see him play. But he had the hit on Frank Gifford where they actually put Frank Gifford on a stretcher and people thought he was dead because they actually put the cloth over Frank Gifford's entire body.
I don't know who that is.
It's the most football's most notorious concussion. It's known in football lore as the hit. But yeah, he's isn't there an award named after him? The Bednarik Award. What is that? I'm trying to figure out what that is.
Oh, I think it's best linebacker, or I think it's the best linebacker in college football.
Yeah, Bednarik Award. Best defensive player of the year in college football. So he's there. You go. He's synonymous with the best defensive players in college football. That's the guy who's on the trophy. I don't think you can go wrong there. Brooks, you get 2 in a row here to finish off your draft. Who are you going to go with?
Yeah, this is a tough 2 for me right here, but with one of my picks, I'm certainly going to pick possibly one of the best athletes of all time, Bo Jackson. He gets brought up a lot in our drafts, and I'm going to continue to take him. Even if he didn't have the most historic career just because of injuries and stuff like that, everybody knows who Bo Jackson is. Also, didn't know he was taken by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Did you guys know that?
Yeah. So the story behind this is simple. Bo played baseball at Auburn, and everyone knew he was. I think he had just won the Heisman that year in '85. And
I think I remember this story now. Go ahead.
I know it's all good. And so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had the first pick. Flew Bo out to Tampa from Auburn and did his meeting or whatever, flies back. He said he's getting suited up for his baseball game. And Hal Baird, the head coach or the manager of the Auburn baseball team, pulled Bo aside and said, "Hey, Bo, did you go to Tampa Bay on a private jet?" And Bo said, "Yes." They said they checked with Auburn compliance and they did not. And he became ineligible to play college baseball. And he said he was tearing the cover off the ball that year. And he said he cried like a baby. And he said he called Tampa and said, "If you draft me, you're wasting a draft pick." And that's when he went and got drafted in the 4th round by the Kansas City Royals. And he went to Memphis and played for the Kansas City Chicks. So the man could have made a boatload of money and been the number 1 overall pick in the NFL. He said, "Fuck you." And that's just how much character he had. He went and played in Memphis.
Yeah, I didn't know a part of that story, but the part that I interjected and said that I remembered him basically telling Tampa Bay, saying, "You're wasting a pick if you take me. If you take me, I'm gonna go play baseball." I do remember that, but I didn't remember he lost his eligibility. He must have lost it because they paid for it, right?
Yeah, because back then, hell, remember, I think Keith Van Horn or Rick Majerus, the head coach at Utah basketball, he got suspended for like 5 games because he bought Keith Van Horn a bagel after Keith Van Horn's mom died. It's like the stupid shit like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Way to go, NCAA.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And with my last pick of this draft, who I've kind of been flip-flopping on here. I'm gonna go Eli Manning. 2 Super Bowls. Probably gonna get. Is gonna get into the Hall of Fame. So give me him.
Yeah. Drafted by the San Diego Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It worked out for both teams. Super Bowl wise, it worked out better for the Giants, but I would argue they had pretty similar careers regular season wise with Philip Rivers and Eli. With Philip actually having better numbers. But anyway, Brian, who is going to be your last pick here for the number 1 overall draft pick?
By the way, that draft worked out really well for both teams because I think the Giants drafted LaDainian Tomlinson and sent him to the Chargers. Like they drafted for each other.
Good player.
Yeah. Hall of Famer. I'm going to go with another recent guy and projecting that he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and that is going to be Mr. Joe Burrow.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
I was so hoping that he would fall to me because he's clearly the best player left on the board. That's not from like the 1940s. I can't argue with you. Obviously, I was going to take him if you didn't.
Remember that random picture we talked about like a few months back that I have signed in the basement of Paul Hornung?
Yeah.
He was number 1 overall draft pick in 57.
Paul Hornung. We definitely
don't know where we got it from. I have no idea where we got that
Really?
from. No.
Yeah.
It's so random.
Okay, I have decisions to make here, and I can speak out loud because this is going to be the last pick here. So I can go with Carson Palmer because I love him, and I think he's just criminally underrated as a player. I can go with Cam Newton because of the overall body of work from college to the NFL, but not a long career, didn't win any championships. Or I could go with Keyshawn because I love Keyshawn and I could just do that for the memes. So it's between those 3 probably for me here.
Okay.
I don't know if there's another guy on here. Once again, it's going back really far.
There's an old one on there, but
yeah.
I don't think he's
Bradshaw.
I would have probably said Jim Plunkett over Bradshaw.
Plunkett or Bradshaw. Bradshaw won 4 Super Bowls, but I wasn't even close to alive.
And I don't think he was doing much in those besides handing balls off in that defense play.
All right, I guess I'll just go with Cam Newton, just because he was an electric factory and remember
MVP.
And MVP and led the Panthers to a 15-1 record to a Super Bowl. And Von Miller ate him for breakfast in that Super Bowl, if I remember correctly, right? Yeah. Riverboat Ron got him to the Super Bowl. There's Cam Newton, and he is Mr. Irrelevant here in our number 1 overall pick draft.
Actually, Mario Williams would have been a good pick too.
Mario Williams was like by the standards everyone had for him coming out, that he was like the Jadeveon Clowney type prospect when he came out, and he made 4 Pro Bowls, was a really good player, but I think people kind of remember him not as fondly as they should just because he had so much hype.
Yeah.
But he was a really, really good player, and I was actually going to bring him up as a guy when he came out. I was like, this is my guy. He's going to be so good. But
have I told you guys the Terry Bradshaw story about when he checked himself into a hospital for surgery?
I don't think so. Go ahead.
So Terry Bradshaw, he this is how old Terry Bradshaw is. Back then, like players got their own surgeries. Terry Bradshaw went to Louisiana Tech. It's also crazy to think that the guy Terry Bradshaw replaced at Louisiana Tech is like the dad of Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, it's the Duck Dynasty guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, Terry Bradshaw goes down to get like elbow surgery or some sort of arm surgery down in Louisiana, and he checked himself in under an alias. The alias's name was Tom Brady.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
What?
I don't even know if Tom Brady was born yet, but if he was like 5.
Yeah.
He checked his name in as Tom Brady.
just because he wanted to be like a John Doe. He didn't want everyone to know it was him getting surgery.
Yeah, I mean, how random is that?
That's crazy.
I don't have any honorable mentions, by the way. We hit every single one I had written down.
Yeah. I mean, Keyshawn, maybe.
Keyshawn would have been an honorable mention. Russell Maryland could have been one. Drew Bledsoe could have been one.
Irving Fryer was a
honestly,
really good underrated player.
Carson Palmer ended up having a better career than a lot of people might remember.
He's so underrated.
He is. Good. I mean, he's kind of like Stafford before Stafford. I mean, he's not that much older, obviously, but I mean, the guy slung it. He just played for the Bengals when they were shitty for a while, and then, I mean, we saw what he did in Arizona. He played really well for Arizona. And then another guy, Jake Long, won multiple Super Bowls, Eagles and Patriots, I believe.
Oh no, you're talking about Chris Long.
Chris Long. Never mind. Sorry.
He was the number 2 pick.
Yeah, Jake Long. Jake Long was a good offensive tackle, but I think he was. Tackle. Yeah. I think he. I don't know. I can't give you
I get them mixed up.
Tackles. Clooney or Clowney? Clown E. Yeah.
I like that.
There we go.
I mean, by his standards, I think he underperformed for a lot of his career until like the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, just same thing with Mario Williams. Just way too much hype coming out, but
a lot of injury stuff.
Clowney's last game is one of the more epic hits of all time.
Oh, the Outback Bowl, baby. South Carolina, Michigan. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. The dude's helmet popped off, and then he fumbled the ball, and Clowney picked it up like it was a claw machine. It went this. It's great.
Ooh, Jeff George. David Carr. I forgot about David Carr. Alex Smith. Alex Smith had a great career.
Mm-hmm. Good player.
Speaking of big hits, you guys watch the McAfee like Ram truck hit thing that he does?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. There is it was like hits from this past football season. And I think a guy from like Mount Union won it. They would do a vote every week on the hits. And this guy won every single week. It's kind of like the buck fumble. They always have they play the buck fumble every week. Like you had to vote it off. This guy absolutely decapitates a dude. A helmet flies off, ball goes into the end zone. And the guy won a Ram truck from the McAfee show.
Yeah. I think in Mount Union, that's where what's his name from
Matt Judon.
Oh no, not
Matt Judon went to Grand Valley State.
But why am I blanking on his name? The guy that coaches the Eagles.
Nick Sirianni.
I think that's where he went. That's where he coached. That's where he went, and his dad coached there too, I believe. It was a D3 school or Division I AA school or whatever it was.
Whatever they call it
out there.
Yeah, I have one Mount Union story just real quick. My buddy JP played D3 football at a school called Albright, and he was a tight end. And they went to the D3 like college football playoffs or whatever, what have you. And the first game they played was against the number 1 seeded Mount Union, and their best player was Cecil Shorts III, who you may remember from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he said Cecil Shorts III had 6 million all-purpose yards in that game and was just lasering by everyone on the field. I just wanted to this is a guy that was just okay in the NFL for like 2 years, and he was that much better than all of these dudes who played football their whole lives. Like that's how good these guys are.
Sirianni, I just looked it up, Mountain Union grad.
That's the talent level is so crazy. That's why I don't think Travis Hunter should play 2 positions. We can talk about that on Thursday. Yeah,
I think let's save all the NFL draft stuff for Thursday because we have we'll do a little bit of a preview segment or show there for that, and then we'll talk about what's going on in that Orioles Nats series. Other than that, anything else you guys want to do before we put our little closing remarks on this Tuesday edition?
We need to get Joe's website up on social media today for the donor stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So keep a lookout for that. One of Joe Radke, one of our loyal listeners, one of his coworkers is looking for new kidney, I believe. Is that what it was?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
He said he's been doing dialysis for
dialysis for the kidney.
Yeah. So we'll have that up. So keep a lookout for that. And also Brian's one of our other friends of the show, Antonio, they're doing his family's doing that fundraiser. Brian, if you want to plug that a little bit, we'll get that out on social media today too.
Yeah, it's 4 foundations all coming together. One of which is Special Olympics, which is very big with Russ and Antonio. Antonio's called in a few times. Actually went to the Oriole game with Mr. Russ and Antonio the other day. It was great, good time. And then also like the Mo Gaba Foundation is part of that same cluster. And it's all going to be down here in Little Italy. It's like a festival going on where it's like, you know, you can donate to the festival. There's some silent auction stuff. I'm actually going to be bartending one of the beer boxes, and all the money any tip money is going right back to the foundation. So we'll get that stuff out on socials, and you can see, and any dollar helps for these guys. And I know it's something that Russ and his family and his friends are extremely passionate about.
Yeah. He's okay. So he's not a coworker. He's a Ripken Show fan. Well, either way,
okay.
He's a friend. He's a friend of the program in any form and fashion. Then we're going to do whatever we can to help and support him. We're going to get that link out, and we're going to get all of that information out to you guys for the festival in Little Italy, which is in a couple weekends, I believe.
I think it's May 17th and 18th, I believe, are the 2 dates.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And like
17th is the VIP, and the 18th is the full fundraiser thing.
And we'll get that on our socials and confirm those dates with everyone. And like Brian said, every dollar helps. Even if you can't show up, donate a couple bucks here and there, whatever you can afford, whatever you can spare, for a good cause. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Tuesday edition of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture, and we'll be back on Thursday with some NFL draft preview and some more Orioles stuff.
Yep. All right, boys. Well, have a good rest of your day. I will talk to you guys soon.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Happy Earth Day, everyone.